It's awesome!
Ladies, gentlemen, and my NBA comrades, welcome back here to Snare Casting. It's your boy Snare. We're getting into it, almost at the finale. You might think this is the last of a trilogy, but it's going to be 4. Good trilogies often come in 4 or 5, so we're going to be going with that mantra here today. Now looking at the playoff teams. Now we're going to be doing things a little bit differently for this one. Primarily, we're not going to be actually ranking them just yet because we do not know what the bracket looks like. Fortunately though, that's the next video, so make sure that you are subscribed so that as soon as that drops, you are aware, you get on that hype. Tell me how wrong I was. I really can't wait to look back. I think afterwards, right, that'll be the 5th video. We'll look back on all these predictions and see how things have come to fruition. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be exciting, but in the meantime, let's go, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Tier list, baby. So the first of these surprises is that I think T1 is going to be B tier. Last time, where did I put them, like C tier or something? I didn't really like the change from Jackie to the young 23Savage. Initially, it felt very vindicating. I think they lost like 2 easy games against teams that really shouldn't have happened. It was like Omega first, and then I want to say Lil Gun, or was it Boom? One of the 2 teams. Really shouldn't have been happening if you're gonna make that kind of trade. So, but now I do think they're doing a lot better. I really like the fact that they kept improving as the season went on. So they lost to easy teams, but they didn't fold and they didn't choke against teams that were more difficult to take on. And that tiebreaker game, that tiebreaker shit was pretty dope. That was pretty dope. So T1, we out here in B category. Next up, let's talk about Virtus Pro, the Russian Bears. This team, right, on paper, this team is incredible. On paper, they can just do so much. They feel, you know what, nah? This is how it feels. This is how it feels. Let's do this. Let's do this. You know, put VP like around, like a bit better than Vici Gaming, but not as good as PSG.LGD. Of course, y'all know how I feel about Beast Coast. You know, we rep our boy Hector out here. Him, Chris Luck, and the homies. Pretty fun team to watch. PSG.LGD though, yeah, definitely better than VP. Still a very good squad. And now, here we get to the surprises. Here we get to the surprises. The first surprise, No Ping Esports. You know, this meta right now feels very exciting for South American teams. It feels pretty hype for them. And I would definitely love to see this No Ping team that were able to beat Thunder and Beast Coast, both teams who were looking quite good in the run up to this major. So we are gonna like have them just straddle above like where Beast Coast is. I think it's very fitting that this went ultimately to a tie. Felt pretty good. So the thing with No Ping for me is that generally when I see them play, they have this very unorthodox style that feels very flexible. They can do quite a lot. I've seen them go, for example, from one game with a ratting Nature's Prophet strat to the next game, they're trying to hard snowball off of TA, maybe losing that game, winning that game, and then going the next game in a different series to something completely different. So I kind of like the different looks they have for the game, and I think that's would lend well to a major situation, especially in a best of 3 in the playoffs bracket. I think I might have had them a bit lower in group stages if people have time to figure them out a little bit more, but the surprise elements I think will help them a lot in the playoffs. So B tier for No Ping, who under different circumstances might have been placed way lower. Anyway, anywho, let's continue. Quincy Crew, A tier. I actually think they're a little bit better than EG right now. Like EG doesn't feel like they need it, so they're just like whatever. They're still gonna do really well because it's EG. EG has a lot of players on the team right now that just have consistently excelled at a high enough level that I don't really anticipate them letting off the ball far enough that it would legitimately threaten their chances at making it like deep into the tournament on the side of VG, that is. Quincy Crew though, I do think they want this a little bit more, and let's actually go back and discuss some of these teams and their track in order to be able to get to TI. So you can see which way. There we go. Nigma, TNC, Team Spirit. We spoke about them briefly in the previous videos in terms of their journey required to be able to get themselves to TI. Realistically, Nigma needs what? Top 4, top 2. TNC needs top 2. I think Spirit would need top 2, right? Yeah, it's rough. It's difficult. It's difficult. Top 2 or top 4, something like that. Anyway, T1, they right now, in the event that anybody gets ahead of them, if only one team gets ahead of them, they still stay in this. And Neon is the one that gets knocked down. Ideally for them, that team is not VG Gaming or No Ping or Team Spirit or TNC or Nigma, but who knows? This major is probably going to be some wild shit. Therefore, what we can expect, I think, is ultimately a situation where T1, 1B or 3, I think they'll at least win one lower bracket matchup. We'll have to really see when the playoff bracket comes out. But I do think that I expect them to at least get one. I think they'll be able to make it. VP already qualified. They don't really care. They're just gonna play for VP, right? I think for a squad that's in their position, being still a very good team but unable to really push that additional envelope internationally, they're okay. They don't have to worry about this. Quincy Crew in a situation where they're tied with the other two teams we're going to still talk about and some others outside of the tournament right now, like Thunder feels bad, but ultimately they just need also one BO3. That's it. For a lot of these teams, that's what it comes down to. There's a lot of pressure, right? Whether in the upper bracket or the lower bracket, a single best of 3. The difference between going to TI and having to play qualifiers in extremely stacked regions. Another thing about Quincy Crew that I really like is how stable and solid this team is. They lose and they win together, for better or worse. They are effectively...
Everyone pull together! We've got a threat to our hands! You there! Here we go!
I don't want to say there's no weak links on the team, but I kind of want to mention that there's no one person you can exploit to decisively beat Quincy Crew. They are beatable, and I think one of their primary weaknesses, which prevents them from being a championship caliber team, is that they are one of these teams that can lose in the draft. Against a prepared enough team, Quincy Crew, I feel, really struggles to adapt in a series. I think they have enough strategies prepared and enough solidity to their gameplay that by and large, it shouldn't become a problem until you get deeper into the tournament. And then it does against a team that's gonna win first. So let's see. But I think Quincy Crew goes deep in the tournament. I think they do quite well. And Alliance is going to round out our trio of A-tier teams. I bet some of y'all thought that, like me being such a Chinese fanboy, I'd cape harder for CN. Some of these Chinese teams have been a bit inconsistent, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. They've been picking up consistency, that's why, you know, we still have them very high on B tier, but Alliance has been consistent, they've been staying consistent, and I think that the style of Dota is interesting for Alliance, right? Because they're still ultimately going to be relying on Nico Baby to carry them through every situation, but that guy has gotten really good, I think. Honestly, he was a little bit overrated before, but now it's like, alright, cool. Nico Baby, you out here. Nico Baby, you out here. I don't know what PPD is telling him in the booth or on the comms, but whatever the communication is, it's going down well. And I think they get A tier. This will be a good berth for them ultimately. I don't really foresee them having any difficulty really getting at least one BO3. I mean, really? Alliance can't win one BO3 against any of these teams? No, that's not happening. That's not happening. So TI qualification is almost certain for them, I think. And now it is time to celebrate the great ones. To celebrate the coming of the Chinese gods. The reason why I couldn't overload China into A tier was because I knew that it would be disrespect to even pretend anybody is close to Team Aster. Out here, masters of the meta. There's so many things I've seen in China in the run-up to this major. and started seeing in pubs that I'm like, yep, I've been seeing Aster dominate games with this. Treant Protector, boy. Abaddon, boy. We've got Linas, we've got TAs, Team Ursa, we've got Razors. XXX has Magnus, XXX has Axe.
All right! Oh man, it's awesome!
It is a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be an Aster fan. Baboka Lion. Oh my god. If he can just make sure that he keeps the finger of death, that is legal authorities, away from himself, the finger's gonna come onto his opponents. He's gonna be out here. My god, I'm excited. I cannot tell you how hype I am to see Aster play out in this major. I think there's a little bit of craving as well from having missed out on the first major. Like, you might say, oh no, they played without Baboka, the team kind of not really there in the same way, but with him playing on form, which he has been for a while, I think this Aster team, some of the victories are going to be a little bit disgusting. Kipsel said this thing once about just bet on Aster, you'll grind out some awful victories, but you'll win. Aster, S tier, no discussion, GG, well played, we're done. We're keeping it short so we can get to the playoffs. At this point, all of this is still just going to be conjecture. We know that Aster, like I said, I expect them to win the tournament, so qualifying for TI is going to be quite easy. Quincy Crew, Alliance in the same boat. EG is already qualified, VP is already qualified. No Ping, they're the outside ones. They need to do really, really well in order to be able to get through properly. I think they need top 6 if I'm not mistaken. But ultimately, gonna be a fun one. The major is coming up. We're gonna revise all these predictions that we have done over the last 2 days. Well, y'all are getting it over the course of like, okay, I can't see the future, so I can't tell you when this video is dropping, but that's when you're getting it. But for me, it was recorded over 2 days, and we'll see how it pans out. I'm pretty sure once we get to the playoff bracket, future me will have some interesting things to say about past me. But if you want to hear me excruciate myself, make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe, smash the like button, make sure that your homies know about it, and let me know what you think. Let me know where I went wrong. I mean, you're in the future right now, so you should be able to tell me how things have panned out at least a little bit. Wild card, maybe group stages. I doubt the playoffs have happened. Till the playoff bracket, it's your boy Snare, and we'll see you in the next video.